Welcome back everyone to Welstopia, and here we are at the end of the road where I've been setting up my little build area where I have everything I need for the build for this month, which is going to be our haunted house, which is right on the top of this hill. I was wondering if how well it was going to be in view of the road, and yeah, it's going to be in view. That's not going to be any problem once it is finished built. Now, we do have a question about the scaling of it. While during the latter parts of the module they are very specific on the scale, here it's a little bit more ambiguous. I'm going to assume that they intended it to be 1 square equals 5 feet, but that won't fit here. So instead I'm using 1 square equals 1 block. And that's what I've laid out right here. As you can see, we just barely fit right on top of here, and I think that will work perfectly for what I want here. As much as I love the light brought out by these torches here, I better start by digging out a foundation where I can build on top of. You're in a swamp here, you're probably going to need a nice good foundation if you're going to your house to be able to stay on a stable side. Not that this is exactly known for being the most maintained, best built house in the history of Dungeons and Dragons, after all. Oops. This is a haunted house, and they're talking about it being in pretty poor shape. So it's probably partially because it hasn't been maintained over the last few years, ever since. I don't think they're exactly clear on what happened to the wizard that used to be here, but I'm sure it was something sinister. Let's get this all nice and built up. After building this outline, I decided to make a map of the area, and so happens that the border of this area is right here, and this is where I originally did the outline. So you can see I am 3 off from the end, and I think it would be a nice idea to have the mansion completely in this new map area. So therefore I'm going to take all of this foundation, shift it over by 3 in this direction. As you can see, that leaves us a little bit precipitous here, but the original module does describe the house as being on a cliff, and I don't think you'll be able to be more on a cliff than what I'm going to get as a result of that. After shifting it over, I realized that the front door was now right up against this cliff here, and I don't care how eccentric you are, unless you can fly, you're not going to put your front door right over the edge of a cliff. Therefore, I rotated the whole thing 90 degrees so that now the front entrance is right here, and how about that? It's facing the road. So I think that would be a much more logical place to have it. And now, when you're going down the road, you won't be able to miss the mansion. There's no way you'll be able to miss the mansion. Not even I could miss the mansion. I decided to outline the rooms that are on the ground floor, and I discovered that, yes, I was really too small to fit what I wanted. Therefore, I widened it out to be full scale, and I have the walls in here, and I think everything is now more of a size that would be suitable for my build. Yay! So now that I have everything all nice and defined out, I just need to decide what materials do I want to build this out of. There are 3 types of trees that are local to this area. We have the oak, of course, which is right in the swamp. We have the birch that is right around salt marsh, and we also have, not too far from the haunted house, some dark oak. What I'm thinking of is having oak for my walls, dark oak for my trim, and I'll have birch for my floors, and see if that works. And in order to do this properly, I do want to make sure that I have enough dark oak in order to be able to actually do this. Well, this is part of that big dark oak tree. Okay, got everything. For the exterior doors, I'll be using dark oak. That seems something appropriate for a large house of this manner. And for the corners here, I'm also going to be using dark oak. Let's see, should I use... I think 4 would be enough for the ground floor. I'll get the corners in here so I don't forget to do them. Go all the way through here. Now right here is the side door. And for the side door, I'll put a... I'll put that there. I'll see if I have a more sizable area there. Actually, we also have a patio down this way that I forgot about. Let me see where that's supposed to go. The patio will go right here. For now, I'll be making it out of cobble, so I may make it out of another material in the long run. I want to make sure I have all of my outline done first. Patio will be have this type of door instead of the dark oak door. I figured a regular oak one with the transparent part over here would be much more to our liking there, and step out into the patio. I have to decorate this somehow eventually, but right now let's worry about what's inside. And what's going to be needed inside will be flooring, and I think I am going to use birch for my floorings. So therefore, let me get some birch. Let's test out the birch right here. See how it works. If it works, great. If it doesn't, then we'll have to have a fallback of a different type of material. Oops. Let's get rid of that. Good. I think that'll work. Now let's compare that to how things work here. And if it works here also, then we could do it for the entire room. And that'll definitely have to change. Alright, I'll do that for now. Okay. Then I'll change that from cobble also. Should I make that birch or should I make that oak or dark oak? Well, I'll decide that in a moment. Right now, let's put the doors back in. Good. Let's do a couple more rows because we want to be able to have a nice look at it. And also build up the walls to the oak a little bit. That way we could have a decent height. That I want to be able to have a good idea of how it would look. Now, naturally, there is going to be some modifications to it because not all this is going to be in pristine shape. While I normally have things in a nice, neat look is the style I tend to prefer. I know I can't stick to that in this particular build. I will, of course, need windows also. But for the moment, I just want to see how the oak looks with the dark oak with the floors out of birch, and does everything look reasonably fine? Alright, there you go. There. Yeah, I think that'll do. It'll look a lot better once I actually get everything all lined up. Why is this off center? It's off center because the stairwell is going to be going up here. We'll be having a set of stairs going up here, and the door will be centered with that wall and the stairs over here. So there'll be a dividing wall to hook up with the stairs. So this is not the place where we'll be lining up with, but instead with the stairway that we'll be building eventually when we start working on the second floor. Or actually the first floor, because this is a UK module, and in the UK they call the ground floor versus the first floor. Now I have a lot more birch to get put in. Mobs are constantly spawning in this area, even in the middle of the daytime. I'm trying to figure out where they're all coming from. I'm wondering if it's no, it's not here. This doesn't look like a likely spot for the mobs to be coming from. I can't for the life of me figure it out. All throughout the area, I keep on seeing mobs popping in here and there. And it's worrisome because I certainly don't want any creepers coming in and destroying all the stuff I've got. For the moment it's quiet though. They may be spawning beneath the trees, but I don't think they could do that in the broad daylight. I think they could only do that at night. Well, here we go. We've got most of this all done. I've got a couple of doors to open up still, but overall, I think this is going to work out. Now, next thing I need to worry about are getting some windows, because it's not going to look very fine if we've got all this stuff straight oak and nothing to relieve it. So we'll need some windows, and of course add some shutters with it. Now the shutters, they're going to be made out of dark oak. So for oak windows, dark oak for the shutters, and I think that'll be a nice combination. As for the interior walls, well, artwork would be nice, so the artwork is probably have seen better days, but that should work out in the end. I have lots of walls to get up, and then a few windows. Now that we're here, we could have a quick check on the windows. And there will be quite a few windows on here. So that'll be the first one. Now, I like to have windows too high. So I'll put them like that. I think we're going to have 4 layers for everything. Yeah, that's probably work. That way we could have 2 high for our windows. So probably this room would be a better example on what we do related to those. This particular room will have two sets of windows. Let's have a look at this. Is it possible for me to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? I was trying to see if I could get the windows to be too high over here, but I don't think I can do that reasonably well. Otherwise, this thing will be constant window shutter, window shutter, and nothing else. So it might look fine from the interior, but I think double wide windows won't work very well from the exterior point of view. Yeah. Because as soon as I get the trap doors, which of course would be the shutters, I think that single wide will prove to be the better option there. There you go. So let's grab some shutters and let's have a look at it. Now let's see how this looks. No, there's no buffer. Yeah, it looks like we've got no buffer there. That's well, let's have a look at see whether or not I like it. No. Looks like a giant chocolate bar. Yeah, it's too much. I think it's the first time I ever thought that was too much. But yeah, too much. The other possibility is reducing the number of windows. Now, unfortunately, that means no windows here. So I would have loved to have some for this room. That means over at this room, instead of two sets of windows going in like this, we'll just have one larger window. I wanted larger windows anyway. So that's what I'll do. I'll just have this here, that's have there. Good, and we could try that for the next room over. Do the same thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the same thing, we'll have just one double-sized window instead of two single-sized windows, and I think it'll look all much better. Yeah, I think I like that a lot better. No, not there. Oops. Instead, what I want is to have, oh yeah, like that. Alright. I'll probably have some fence posts or something like that to make that look better. But I think that's a much better option. And probably have some lighting right here. So add some fence posts there, and that could make that a little bit more interesting. You could have some fences that act as sconces for the torches, and I think that's exactly what will work. Now, unfortunately, I am running out of time, so that's about all I'm able to. Oops. All I'll be able to get done for today. But next time I'm hoping I could finish out the first floor and be able to start on the finish out on the first floor, then have a look at making sure I've got all the details going on in here. Okay, not all the details like furnishing and the like, but at least have the walls and the windows all done. Have that all done by the end of the next episode. And it can start looking like a house and maybe even get the stairs up and start outlining the second level, which would be good because it'd be nice to have a good place to put all of this stuff so that I could have a safe place that's not out in the middle of the road. But that's it for today. We'll return next time for another episode of Pineleaf Plays Minecraft Welstopia.